So if you remember a few videos ago, it's been several videos, but back in May, we built this partition wall for the trailer, and we don't need it anymore. So I'm using that wood and repurposing it to build the rack for the pickup truck. And this wood was left over from when we built the pole barn, so it's all repurposed wood. So we try to do that, save some expense that way. I built these yesterday. That's the initial frame for the sides. It fits in here so the tailgate can close. On this area up here, we have some leftover 4-inch square steel fencing from the paddock, so we'll put that in there. We'll also put it across the front and across this side, and then also a section on the back here. And then on the top, I have some siding left over from the barn, and we'll cut that and we'll put the siding on the top and secure that so it's, withstands the wind and covers any sharp edges. That way they'll have shade and it'll protect them if there's any rain. So that's the plan, and like I said, most all of this except for the new screws I bought is repurposed, so trying to keep my cost at a minimum. Okay, we've got the side panels in here. They're 42.5 inches high. So I need to make 2 more uprights, and then we'll have to measure to get the cross boards. So we'll do that next. It's going to be 57 inches across. This board is 84 inches long. 42.5 times 2 is 85. However, I'm going to make the inside ½ inch shorter, basically because that's what this measured. And also, I'm going to build a top, so if it's a ½ inch shorter, then that will sit down inside, and then I can secure it so that it's secured on the top as well. We were supposed to have some rain today, and once again it went north of us and south of us, so we've been very dry here. We had about 2 inches in the past 2 weeks, and prior to that we'd only had 1.5 inches in 90 days. So very dry here. Crops are hanging in there, but we could definitely use some more rain. We'll put the screws in this end first, then we'll line up the next at the other end. So we're on solid flooring here, both corners, and the same thing up here. You can see that, and over there, but gives us space between this protective roll here, keeps them away from the glass, and we're just about even with the cab. So the roof will be about even with the cab line, so we won't have the wind resistance. The wire is going to go in here, across there, and go in here, across there, and then we'll secure it with board, probably 2x4 since I got plenty of those. It's a lot heavier, but put 2x4 here and then 2x4 along here, and just secure that with screws, and that'll hold the wire in place. We'll have enough room here, so that'll make it nice and secure. So that's the plan. Then we got to make the back gate yet too. If you look down here, there's this little lip right here. So the end upright is going to sit on this part, and that's taller than what this is, and it's also taller than the front. So I measured it, and I think we got to make, because we made the front one 42, I believe we make this one 40.5. As I say, you have to be adaptable, and I actually miscalculated, but actually it's going to work out good, because this goes inside of here. So it's actually going to be much lower, probably about 1.5 to 2 inches lower than the top of this. But that's actually okay, because that'll be taller, and it'll slope about 1.5 to 2 inches, which, you know, if there's rain or something like that, it's gonna go off the back and drain. So that's actually a good thing. The other thing I'm changing, instead of going that height up there, we're gonna come down to about there with the wire. And that way, when we open the, or maybe here, that way when we open the tailgate, it's not such a big hole, and hopefully they won't escape. So that's a little change in the plan. Got it put together. We've got 16 inches from the floor up to the bottom of this first board, and that gives us about, I think 18 inches between there. So that should be good. It's 17 inches on the side. Like I say, we've probably got 3 inches there, but we've got 1/2 inch at the top, so a 2.5 inch slope there, which will be good. That'll help the rain and whatever drain off there. So the next thing to do is cut the wire, and then we'll secure that. This wire panel is 48 inches high, and it just barely worked here. I had to loosen one end, tuck it underneath, and then put that back down. So as you can see, then we're just framing it on the inside. These boards go in here, and then we screw that, it's sandwiched in between, and that makes that really secure. I think this will work, and we'll do the same thing all the way around. Gonna finish for today. This is the back section here, and this is the front section here. It's nice and secure. So all I've got to do is get the wire panels on the sides, and then come up with some connectors to hold this together. And then there are some anchors at the front here. Somewhere, yeah, right down. You can see between the board, and there's a little bolt there. And we'll just anchor it right into there. That'll keep it from sliding, and it should be pretty well self-contained. So that's the plan. Then we'll have to put the roof on it. Just finished the side panels and had to modify the back panel because it was a little bit too low. It had to come above the back of the tailgate in order to close. But I'm pleased with the way that's sitting. Like I said, this is just a bit lower. It wasn't by design, but actually it's going to work out well because it's going to give me a slope for the roof so that water will drain off. Sits in there pretty good. We'll have to get some closures for down here, but I think we're good to go. We're going to start working on the roof now, and then we'll get the fasteners for the inside to secure it. Finally, we're getting a nice shower here today. It's supposed to rain most of the morning, I think. We've actually got some water puddles standing, so once this rain goes through, I think that's it for quite a while, but it's a much welcomed rain. Starting on the roof project, we got the boards cut for the top, We'll lay the tin on top of there to get the spacing right. And then once that's on, we'll secure the boards, and then we'll secure the tin or the siding, and then we'll cut the siding. We've put the metal roofing, laid it on there so that it lines up. Each of the ribs line up with the boards. And we've got an overlap here to help prevent any leakage. So next step is to secure these boards, and then we'll put the metal on it, secure that, and then trim the metal edges. Got the metal secured. Pretty close. It's not quite square, but it's going to work okay. We're going to put a 1x4 covering all the way around. So we'll use the roofing screws, so it shouldn't leak. But I've got a tool I can cut that metal off with, and then we'll put the 1x4 on there. It should be okay. Got the top of it covered with the metal now. Had a little difficulty figuring out how to cut the edges. This one I did with hand snips, but it'll work. In the back, I actually used the disc grinder, this tool right here, and cut it off and sanded it. So now we're going to put the 1x4 across the base and around the sides to protect that. Okay, I've got the top done. We've got to paint all this yet, but it's sitting right down in here where I want it. And then it comes along the back here, and then it sits in behind on top of those. So then the back piece will go in underneath that. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. That helps our channel. And ring the notification bell so that you get notified of any new videos that we come up with. And please leave a comment and share this video with a friend. Thanks again for joining us at Norwal Farm.